Hello students. My GoPro says I've got 35% battery, so let's see how far we can get. Put this on my head. All right, so we've got our wide pieces cut into narrow pieces because of the growth ring and the possibility of our plaque warping on us. So notice I've got my chalk up on each one of these. I'm going to flip the end grain, right, on every other one. That way I've got one growth ring up, one down, and so on and so forth, so they work against each other. Same thing over here. I'm going to flip every other one, and now I know the growth rings are set, working against each other. Okay, from there I want to number them, so I keep them in the same order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, same thing on this one. I want to keep those over there and these together, so I'm going to go 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, I'm also going to do what we call the I/O technique for the joiner. Let me show you what that is and why we do that. The I/O technique is we mark them. I/O, I/O, I, so on and so forth. We could start over again. I/O, I/O, I. I means on the joiner, it's into the fence. O means it's out, away from the fence, not in. Okay? Why do we do that? Here's why. This joiner could be out a degree or two very easily. If you have two boards and you joint them, if it's out 2 degrees, now it doubled. It's out 4 degrees. Okay? So I purposefully set this joiner fence out about, I don't remember, is 5 or 10 degrees. Look at this joint. That wouldn't be a very good glue joint, would it? Well, I ran them both as eyes. So this one's out 10 degrees. This one's out 10 degrees. It multiplied the error. Not good. But check this out. Let's make this one an O. Look at that. They're still out 10 degrees, but they complement rather than multiplying the error. All right? They complement each other. They're in the same direction once we flipped it. So now we've got a good glue joint. That's why we do the I/O. Okay, I will check this periodically, but it may still be out a degree, which would make a weaker joint. Okay, so I've got these marked. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it over here where it's close to me, and we'll do the first panel. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, if your piece, I is in, right? I'm gonna also mark them. I want to joint these two. I want to joint these two. I want to joint these two and these two. I don't need to joint the outside edges because they're not glued to anything. If your part is shorter than the fence, we need to use push sticks. If it's taller, you can use your hands. Front push stick goes up front and it locks it into the fence, pressure in and down. Back or right push stick pushes it through. Keeping it tight to the fence, equal pressure. I've got this set up to take a 1/16 inch off, and that's where I want it to stay, so you don't have to adjust it. All right, the next one is an O, and I've got to do both edges. Okay, and we flip it end for end. O is still out. and so on and so forth. I is in. Notice my speed, nice and slow. Here's what happens. If you go too fast, I was in, right? So I keep it in. I'm gonna go fast on this one. Watch what happened. Can't see any difference, right? Check this out. Look how big those mill marks are. You see them? Not a good glue joint. We need to go slower. I is in. This is the right speed. More mill marks, smaller mill marks, and you'll get a tighter joint, a better glue joint. Okay? O is out. Got to do both edges. And last one, I is in. All right, so if we did a good job, we should have tight joints, and it looks pretty good. We're going to dry clamp it. That'll be our next step, right? To dry clamp this. If it looks good in the clamps, then we will add our glue and we'll have our first panel glued up. I'll go ahead and do this one off video, and the next video will be gluing.